Okay, let's talk about some variations on the conditional statement. So we learned there's a and statement, an or statement, the if then else, or the if then called the conditional. Now, from that conditional, we can also build some other types of statements that we're going to give special names to. Okay, so here again is the regular conditional statement, and A implies B, or if A, then B has to be true. And then now, if we flip those around, we would call this the converse of that original. So if I give you A implies B and ask for the converse, you just flip it around and B implies A. Or if B, then A would have to be true. Here's another one, the inverse. Again, starting back with A implies B, the inverse of that would be the not A implies not B. So if I just negate both of those, that's the name for that special case is the inverse. And then we also have one called contrapositive. That does both. It flips them around. Notice the A and the B got flipped around here, but also that they're both got the negative in there as well, okay? So if I do both, flip it and negate both of them, we have what we call the contrapositive. Okay, so let's look at how those work in the truth table. Here's our basic A and B with our 4 combinations of conditions. Now let's define the not A and the not B, because we're going to be using those up here, of course. So the negation of A is flip that to false, false, true, true. Negation of B is flip the B column to false, true, the opposite. And then let's write each of these in there. So A implies B, that's the one we already know from before. So remember that is going to be true unless we're not allowed to have a true pointing to a false. Otherwise, we're always good with this one. We're always fine unless we've got something true implying that the next thing after it must be true, but it turns out to be false. Okay, now B and A. We're just going to flip those around. We're taking the B, flipping it to point to the A, and the only time we have a problem is when the true on the B points to the false here. So that's going to be the one case where this doesn't turn out to be true. So here's our one case that didn't work. Now, we're going to use that same arrow, imply arrow, but we're just going to do some negating first. So the not A pointing to the not B. So here's my negations, and I'm basically assuming anything's true unless I'm looking for the one thing where true points to false, and that's our problem child. So false can point to anything, and it's nothing is implying anything wrong. True pointing to true has got to be true. So true pointing to false is our one problem case, and that makes this one false. And then the contrapositive, where we flip the B and the A around, and we negated both of them. So let's just look at the result for that. So that's the not B pointing to the not A. Again, false can point to false. True cannot point to false. That's our one problem. False can point to anything. True has to point to true. So here, the one problem that's going to be false is the true, implying that the next one had to be true, but it turns out to be false. Okay, so now you know what converses, inverses, and contrapositives are. They're built off our original conditional statement, the if-then statement.